This is what happens in July at the allotment. Yes, everything is bursting with fruits. Everything looks so beautiful. But then you have plants like, look at this gladioli topping over. It all looks so beautiful and there's so much abundance, but it's still not the peak. So this is the season where we have to drive into the allotment because we need the boot. We need to carry our harvest. We're starting from the polytunnel. This pepper, I'm not really sure what it's called. I bought it in the shop just as food 3 years ago. And it is so productive. But then somehow I lost that. I couldn't save seeds last year. So I only have the single plant, but it's done so well. It's fragrant and it's tasty. It's like a habanero pepper, but really, really, really delicious. Yes, spicy and delicious. Anyway, this is what the plant looks like, really full of fruits. There are no more flowers now, though, so I'm hoping that we'll get more flowers later. These are water leaf seeds, okay? They're like the porcelain family. The tiny black seeds can be propagated, but it needs a lot of heat. It takes forever to grow, but I still save the seeds. I'm also going to be harvesting my first lemongrass from the polytunnel. We're going to make some sort of curry over the weekend. Yeah. So this is a little harvest from the poly. Let's have a look and see what else we can get. But this is the pepper. Okay, this is what I remember
And
it's
suka
called.
peppers. They're really fragrant, like, and extremely hot on the Scoville scale. They're really high up there, higher than the normal habanero. So this one over here, I just show you.
Now, let's go back and look at what we have. So this other pepper is not a habanero. It's a normal habanero, I beg your pardon. And this is this yellow one. This is just one single special plant that I have to really guard because I need the seeds. I need to save seeds and hopefully give some out because it's really delicious. I haven't seen anything like it since 3 years ago I bought it. The other peppers I'm growing this yellow cayenne pepper. I got this plant, the fruits when we went to France in the winter, and I'm thankful it's producing. I've also got this corked. You see the fruits corked. This is called tatache. It's a bell pepper, but it's spicy. It's pungent. We use it for our Nigerian stews. It's so nice, but also spicy. And so I have been saving seeds for about 3 years as well when I first started growing it. I've got one ripe one. I think it's the first ripe one of the season. Yay! Exciting times, yeah. You don't use this in salads because it is a bit pungent and spicy, like I said. So you use it in your like soups or stews. It's not fully ripe, but will do. That will do. Some more cayenne peppers. I think that's a red variety. The other one is a yellow cayenne. And the sweet potato pot is looking so good. Another one on top of the staging is looking really good. What else do we have in the polytunnel? We have this Cape gooseberries. My plot neighbor gave it to me. I think self-seeded, and they're beginning to form fruit. I also have this self-seeded cherry tomatoes that has blight in the polytunnel. I didn't plant any tomatoes in there, so I'm not complaining. But cucumber, aubergine, they're all looking okay. They're doing well. A few of the onions I randomly scattered in the early season in the polytunnel. And this is the onion bed. Now, the onions are not looking as big as I would really like them to be. But what I could do, I go around and anyone that's bent, I just pick and then I just take them and let the rest swell up. Also, we planted some potatoes that self-seeded. We put them in containers beside the polytunnel, but then we had a little problem. Now the pumpkin behind the polytunnel has overshadowed this whole bed, like the whole place is covered. So I thought I'll take one of the container potatoes out. These are meant to be salad blue potatoes, okay? But they're not quite ready yet. They should be ready by September because they're main crop. However, because we can't even reach them to water it, it's just a bit of a shame. Look how dry the soil is there. This is homemade compost, and the plants did not produce decent crops. To be fair, they could be called seed potatoes, but we wanted to eat them. Although, in all fairness, this is free food. It's self-seeded. I didn't plant it. I didn't buy compost, so I shouldn't complain. But we still want more, obviously. Anywho, so this is what we've got so far from 2 containers. The second container gave us a little bit bigger pot. I brought one out and I thought I'll see if I can salvage it. So I gave it a water and see if it's get exposed to sunlight, it will produce. We're picking one of our tomato plants with fruits. We've been picking just random ones they've been using for like breakfast now and again. They're not quite ready yet, but I'm just going around to look at the tomatoes, and this one was nearly broken. I had to secure it up there. These stands were not, they're not good for this high prolific tomato plant. And I don't know what variety this is, but I can guess. I'll tell you what I guess it is. Okay, now blossom and rot. Now, this is the only plant that has it amongst all the 80 tomatoes I planted. So I don't think it's something to do with the soil. I think it was just dry. That plant was in the middle and it was a bit exposed. So I've eventually mulched the bed with wood chips. Picking a few lemon balms. I use it for my teas in the morning. It's a busy day, but this is our typical week, right? This is typically twice a week we harvest. I go into the brassica cage and I look around. Look, there's a caterpillar eating this tiny cabbage. Just go and inspect your leaves, even if it's netted over. They find a way to sneak in. Just inspect as many leaves with holes and get rid of as many caterpillars as you can. Now, Calabrese size shoots, I'm just going to harvest. And this one, I could let it get bigger, but we're going away for a few days, about 5 days. And I think if I come back, it'd be too big or blown. So I just decided to harvest it. And we have size shoots already anyway. So that is not a bad thing. Yeah. Anyway, I'll show you what next we're going to do because lots of inspection happening.
2,000 years later.
Now we're going to be picking our runner beans, our French beans actually. This is like, yes, this is a big job, but it happens for about 2 months, so we don't mind, and we have a lot to give out as well. Now, French beans are so delicious when you pick them. Just eat them fresh. They're really, really tasty. So this is gonna take about half an hour. Yes, it takes a whole long time, and that's why I have my harvest apron on because yeah, we have to pick, and it's easier when your hands are free to just keep picking and popping it into the apron. It's taken a lot of time because you have to inspect. If you miss it, you come back and they're too big and you can't actually pick them as green beans. And we want them green. We love blanching and storing it in the freezer. And this is one plant that thankfully I am self-sufficient in. I actually still have a little bit from last year, but that's because I forgot it. Not necessarily because we couldn't eat it. I actually forgot a little, just a tiny portion. Anyway, so yeah, we finished picking this, and this is where we see abundance. We can hardly cope with the harvest, but I will give some of this out. And I actually tell my friends and family, if you really want some of this, you have to come and pick it because half an hour just picking beans is a lot of my time I can't spare right now. And I'm more than happy to share, but I'll just let you come and help yourself. Everywhere is just so beautiful this time of the year. I'm really grateful. The rewards of all the hard work, the watering, the tilling the soil, we just have so much to harvest. Every single week I pick about 6 beetroot, at least 6 on average. Sometimes they're less, sometimes they're more, but it has to be enough to give me my juice for the week. So I'm picking the beetroots. I just get rid of the leaves. I don't want to take them home. We're not storing them, we eat them. And then I pick this way up until when we have the first frost, then I go ahead and I can take all the beetroots to store. I also love picking my mint. This mint is growing in a shaded area, so we have mint all through the summer. It doesn't stop producing, and I need it, and I love enjoying it in my teas. Look at the celery bed. Some of it looking a bit yellow. I don't know why. I haven't done anything different there. But that celery is in a patch shade as well because it doesn't want it too hot. I have some broccoli or cauliflowers in that bed. That's my last brassica planting. And tomatoes as well. We have about 80 tomato plants, and the tomatoes are fruiting on this side. These were all gifts. These tomatoes here are gifts. Now the wild rockets are in season, and look at this. My son was looking at the raspberries, and some of them were eaten by slugs or something. Anyway, final picking of greens. I pick my kale or collet greens and I process them. I have a video how I do that, and I store them in the freezer, and I use them in the winter for my smoothies, and I can also use them for just vegetables cooking. So that is what we're doing here, picking as many leaves. And then this is netted from butterflies, but we still had one or two odd damage from butterflies. Okay, so this happens, and that's what organic gardening is all about. But it's a beautiful harvest. Really grateful to have nice clean leaves, just a few odd ones. So I inspect them because we're gonna eat them raw. Look at that butterfly eggs. Nah, we don't want to eat that, so get rid of it. Okay, last but not least, we're looking at this bed. The cabbages are beginning to heart up. Really nice. This is the first graffiti purple cauliflower of the season. Yeah, for some reason I lost most of the seedlings, but anyway, I'll take what I get. Okay, and this plant had club roots. I don't ever really get club roots, but I planted brassicas there last year, so maybe that's why. I won't do that again. I rotate it. Not a bad harvest. Now it's time to start going home because we spent over 2.5 hours just harvesting, picking things and doing one or two tidying up. We didn't really water apart from the polytunnel. So I'll take you to my kitchen garden where I'm gonna pick some cucumbers and inspect the corn. So the cucumbers are to be picked first. With our first cucumber as well of the year. Yes, we had trouble with our plants, but we're happy to have these two beautiful harvests and we're gonna enjoy them in salads tomorrow. Okay, and looking forward to more cucumbers this season because I have more coming. I also wanted to check on the corn in the containers. Now, we lost all the ones this age of corn at the allotment. So this one was like our little gold. I said, let's have a look because we're going away, like I said, and I wanted to make sure it doesn't get too hard before we come back. But it wasn't quite ready. Tasted delicious though raw. The boys really had the scope. They actually enjoyed the whole thing. It's fully pollinated but just not mature enough yet. So hopefully in about a week's time or so, we shall have our first corn of the season to enjoy. It looks so good. This is a Chinese purple corn. Now, finally, this is everything we've harvested. If you've watched till this point, thank you so much for joining us in this beautiful harvest. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, give us a thumbs up if it's added value to you. If you want to see more things from the allotment or the kitchen garden, let me know in the comment section. And guys, yeah, we picked some berries. I didn't show that in the video. But until next time, I hope to see you having a bountiful, fruitful period of your life. Take care and bye. This is just so much beautiful harvest. I'm so grateful, always grateful for harvest.